Hi, this is Gary. Welcome to day 16 of the Diamine Inkvent calendar. So let's find today's door. Where are you, number 16? Here we go. Number 16, let's open this up. Vintage copper. Ooh, that one sounds interesting. And it's got that copper coloured label on there. Let's get this out of the way. Take off the wrapper. Then we can look at the bottle. So let's fetch the bottle back. Vintage copper. And this one is a shimmer ink. My guess is it's going to be a brownish ink with that copper shimmer to it. Let's take a look. Yep, there we can see that gorgeous shimmer up there, all pulled. Just going to give the bottle a good old shake, really agitate that up. There we go. Hopefully that's well mixed. Fetch my swatch card. This is a colouring card. Let's take the lid off the bottle. Fetch in my pilot parallels with that 6mm blade. Let's go ahead and swatch this. So let's dip it in the ink. And I'm trying to go more gentle when I'm doing my swatches, because one of the things I've seen, and a number of comments have been made, is I seem to be digging into the paper. So I'm trying to put less pressure on it when I'm putting down the ink. I know I'm normally quite heavy-handed, so it's quite difficult. Yeah, I can certainly see that nice, gorgeous browny colour. It's like an orange brown at the moment, isn't it? And yeah, just put it on nice and thick in the middle. And at the side, one single pass all the way down. I like to do this at the side because I found, because I go quite heavy in this big area, this gives me a better idea of what it will look like when it's in a pen. Okay, next thing we're going to fetch in, Serendipity dip pen. This is what I use to do my writing tests with. So, oh, that looks nice on that nib, doesn't it? There we go. Helps if you can see it. There we go. Doesn't that look nice on the nib? So we've got here Diamine Inkvent 2021. Day 16. Can't believe how this month has flown by. And it's vintage copper. Okay, I'm going to pop this to one side and we'll do our writing samples. Before I fetch my notepad, let me just move this bottle to one side for the second. Okay, in comes today's notepad. So for this, I'm using a Endless Recorder notepad. This has got 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. I'm just going to give the bottle another shake. Look at that. Oh, that shimmer's already settled. Okay, that's had another good mix around. Let's take that lid off. Re-dip the pen, ready for my writing test. So here we go. So this is day 16. Vintage copper. Drying times, immediate. Really wet, 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Finally, 1 minute. After a minute, yeah, more or less dry. So nice fast drying ink by the look of it. My writing sample. So I didn't bother to re-dip the pen, and you can see as the ink is running out on the nib, we're getting this more of an orangey colour. Or certainly that's what I see. Actually, it's quite an attractive colour, isn't it? Going to pop this to one side, and then we'll come back in a few minutes once it's had time to dry. It's time to take a look at today's Star Wars The Mandalorian calendar. So day number 16. We're running out of days that need to be opened. Here we are, number 16. Let me just fetch in my letter opener. Just makes it a bit easier for me to dig on in. Day 16. Oh, we've got Yoda in his cradle. Or should I say Baby Yoda or Grogu, whatever you want to call him. Let's just dig out this chocolate. Oh, I broke it. The wife will shout at me now. So we've got on there a candy cane. Let's pop this to one side. Now fetching the bag from my wife. Here we are. It's the small ho 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 bag today. Let's see what's in there. So right down at the bottom of the bag. And what we've got is some pink card. These are changeable blotter pads. So I have here a wooden blotter. I think it was J. Herban is the actual brand. And it has there this paper on the bottom. And this is just a refill so that I can change the pad every so often. So another really good idea. I don't know where my wife was coming up with these ideas from. Okay, let's fetch that Tomoe River pad back in and the swatch card. There we go. So, day 16 vintage topper. We'll start with the swatch card. I just think that looks really nice. It's got that, like I would say, an orangey brown colour. And you can certainly see there in this main swatch, you can see that gold coming through. Or copper colour, should I say. It looks a bit goldish, but it's not. It's copper, I think. Not that much coming through. Maybe a little tiny bit at the bottom of the single pass. I've got a couple of cards to look at it. The first one is Diamine Autumn Oak. To me, that background colour, certainly on the single swipe here, really does look a lot like that autumn oak colour, doesn't it? You know, your mileage may vary with that. The second one by J. Herban, and this is Terre de Fouet or Terre de Feu. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. A little bit more browner, but again, you can see similar in terms of the saturation. Then the last one I'm going to fetch in, well, I've got to fetch this in, is Ancient Copper by Diamine. Again, you can see here the background colour, very, very similar. So yeah, quite a nice, interesting ink. I'm hoping when I've got it in a pen that this copper comes out really nicely. I've got a couple of pens in mind for it to give it a try. Looking on the Tomoe River paper, you know, at the top, we can definitely see there. Can I see any of that copper coming through? A little bit, but not overly much. And as I said earlier on, as we go down and the ink is running off the nib, it's certainly getting lighter. And I've got to be honest, I like this lighter colour. I think it looks more character-filled than this first line where it's really full of ink. So this is Diamine Inkvent, day number 16, vintage copper.